What's going on, you guys? Frank back, and in today's video, the people have definitely spoken with our previous Arkham retrospective upload. You guys love Batman themed content, so I want to deliver that to you guys because there is still quite a few different pieces left in my collection that I did want to show off. We got a bunch of different stuff spanning a bunch of different eras of the Dark Knight. This guy is probably my second favorite superhero behind Spider-Man. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's start talking some more Batman action figures. So starting off at the earliest point in Batman's history, at least in my collection, here we have the Mattel Batman 66 collection here. This was all of Series 1, I think, minus Surf's Up Batman. So over here we do have a pretty decent looking Adam West Batman. This is still Mattel. I think these things were made in like 2012 or something, so the articulation's still the same. He's got that crotch pit we talked about in the Arkham City video. He actually has a cloth cape, which is really nice because this guy was made to fit in the 66 Batmobile. Not a bad likeness to Adam West, actually. And the blue has like a nice it kind of shimmers slightly, so not a bad Adam West Batman figure. But you know, we also have the villains. This is Catwoman here. Really weird flat looking face. She's definitely showing her age as an action figure. I know we've kind of stepped things up with like photoreal tech and everything, but this one's not too bad. The costume at least looks accurate to what it was supposed to be. She's got the long gloves and the gold jewelry and everything, cat ears. Maybe not a perfect figure. Okay, I'll stop talking now. No more puns. But yeah, definitely a decent looking action figure. Is she? You know what? We're gonna lean her in the back because of the heels. Next up, we do have the Penguin. This isn't Danny DeVito Penguin, but this is definitely a classier looking guy. I like the purple top hat and the purple bow tie. He was supposed to have a cigar piece, but it broke off with time. He also came with an umbrella too. You can kind of see his monocle in there as well. Nice pointy penguin nose. Penguin was never one of my favorite Batman villains, but you know, he'll go in the back too. He was never one of my favorites, but I can appreciate him, I guess. Like I don't like him as much as Catwoman or Joker or even the Riddler. Here we do have Frank Gorshin's Riddler. He kind of looks like Barnacle Boy. Just a little bit. Anybody else getting that? But yeah, really lanky figure. The green here is a different color green from up here, which is pretty funny. Big question mark on the back, and on the front he's got question marks on his wrist as well. Yeah, nice 66 Riddler figure. I don't have the full collection. I think they also had a Batgirl. They had a Batgirl and a Surf's Up Batman, Surf's Up Joker, and then the Robin figure. This Joker figure is definitely the best one in the entire set, the Cesar Romero Joker. If you look closely, he's got the mustache that was just painted over, which is a fun little detail they had. Yeah, I've gone back and watched the 66 show. I think it's a lot of fun. I like cheesy Batman. Like I enjoy dark, brooding Batman. My favorite Batman comic is Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth, but I can still appreciate like this more stupid, campier Batman. Plus it's Adam West. You know, how do you not love one of the original guys to put on the uniform? Okay, so this is going to be a bit of an awkward transition because we're going to go from campy, bright and colorful Batman to really a few of the main sort of Batman comics and TV shows that made him the darker character that he really has just stayed as to this very day. So we do have some Dark Knight Returns figures, a Batman Beyond figure, and this Batman the animated series figure. So this is the original, or from the original animated series line of action figures. He's missing his cape, obviously. I'm not sure exactly which version of the animated series Batman this is. I know they came out with a bunch of different variants and stuff. This is at least the classic kind of costume, even though he doesn't have the oval logo. He's got a different logo. But if someone who knows the animated series like that is watching, maybe comment below which version of this guy it is, but yeah, I figured he would be cool on the shelf just as like a historic little piece there. Plus, you can never have too much Kevin Conroy Batman on the shelf. Really nice little figure there. Then moving on to a different... This isn't necessarily the animated Batman Beyond figure, but I would say Batman Beyond is more known for the TV show than the comic. This is a variant of the McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. As you can see, he's got the blue symbol instead. It's supposed to be ink as Batman Beyond. Honestly, though, I think Batman Beyond does look a little bit cooler with blue than red. I think it's more in line for Batman to have the blue. So that's a pretty cool looking figure. The wings have this really nice sort of camo on it with the blue and the black, and it looks great. I love how this thing looks, and when I got him, he was dirt cheap, maybe $10 for this figure. And I mean, he comes with a good amount of accessories. He's got the wings and everything. So yeah, even if you don't want to use him as an ink figure, it's a really nice looking, just kind of basic Batman Beyond. Really big fan of this one. And then of course, everyone's favorite Batman comic that they all draw inspiration from. We do have the Dark Knight Returns cast of characters. This is nice catch, Frank. Thank you. This is the Batman Unlimited figure from Mattel. So this is actually, Mattel also makes like He-Man action figures. So this is one of the bigger like He-Man body molds, and it fits the style, I think. It's a lot bulkier, a little shorter and everything. Big square Frank Miller jaw. Yeah, they came out with a Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman from the McFarlane figures, but I think this guy still holds up. And I mean, like, compared to Carrie Kelly Robin, like even if she's standing up, she's still significantly shorter than him. So like for me, this works. I can go without buying a new Dark Knight Returns Batman just because I got this one. And usually on my shelf I have him posed with the machine gun from the one scene where he shoots the mutant gang member in the arm and catches the baby. It's one of the only Batman figures you can pose with a gun, so I mean, you might as well take advantage of it. That's a really good looking Batman. I like him. He holds up. And then finally, one of my favorite Batman characters that never really gets used a lot. We got Carrie Kelly Robin. I like her design. I like how her Robin mask is just her glass. I think McFarlane did a really good job with the translucent plastic. Big bright orange hair, and then it's just the basic Robin uniform. Yes, in the sequel to The Dark Knight Returns, The Dark Knight Strikes Again, Frank Miller gets weird with her and Batman. I'm not a fan of that at all, but I don't like to... If I'm looking at the Dark Knight Returns lore, I'm looking at it as one book. That's all it is. In my head, that's all it's ever going to be, so... Carrie Kelly Robin. Really, really cool character. Wish she appeared in more stuff, but... And then she got her little slingshot and everything as well. Very nice. Alright, so transitioning back to live action movies, but still keeping it extremely dark and gritty. Honestly, maybe a little too dark and gritty at some point in time. We do have the Batman action figures, not to be confused with Batman. This is the Batman, so this is from the Robert Pattinson movie. So we do have Catwoman, Batman, and the Riddler. They also came out with a few different versions of Bruce Wayne as well as a Penguin figure. I kind of skipped those. These were the more interesting designs for me. We're going to start off with the Riddler figure here. So I love what they did with the Riddler in this movie. Like, I spent so much of my life hating the Riddler because of the Arkham games, but here they made him scary, and then they still kept him in line with being kind of whiny and wanting to be better than everybody. He's got like his Unabomber jacket on and his weird little mask. I'll move these guys back here so this can focus. He's got his mask here and then like the duct tape. The duct tape in the back. Again, glasses are done really nice here. Nice clear plastic. Even comes with the carpet remover, which he uses in the beginning of the movie to kill one of the congressmen, and then Batman uses it at the end to unveil the final plan. Yeah, this was, I always thought that this was a really decent looking figure. You can get him in all the poses you would want him to. And I guess if you really wanted to, you can army build this figure and buy a bunch of Riddlers because of the ending of the movie. When he has a bunch of his followers attacking Gotham Square Garden. It's not Madison Square Garden, but yeah. I like the head tilt on this guy. Like, it adds a lot of, it kind of gives me a Michael Myers sort of vibe to him. Really cool. Moving on to Catwoman here. I decided to get the version with the mask pulled up just because she mainly has the mask off in the film anyway. I think there's only 1 or 2 scenes where she does actually have it on. Not the best likeness to Zoe Kravitz, but it's definitely something. This version came with like the rolled up whip. Suit's pretty accurate and everything. I thought she was really great in the movie. I like the backstory that she has. I liked her relationship with Batman. I mean, it's a Batman story. You gotta have Catwoman in there at some point. As far as versions of Catwoman go, not a bad one. I actually did get this figure in New York at Midtown Comics. That was a really cool spot to go to and check everything out. And finally, we do have the McFarlane Robert Pattinson Batman figure. This guy was a shit show when he came out. A lot of people had this part of his torso flipped upside down when they got him, so they had to take him apart, put him back together. He's supposed to have a collar, but some people, like myself, got like a hood piece on the back, so I took it off because it wasn't accurate. The only accessory he came with was this grapple gun, which you would think you could fit it in the open hand, which you can do, but the grapple gun has a peg on it, and it pegs into this karate chopping hand. So you kind of have to have him like this. And if you wanted a different hand for this guy, you had to buy a bat cycle for it. So yeah, it was a lot just to get a decent looking version of this figure. But I mean, the outfit, I like this design and everything. I think it's a great Batman like year 1 suit. I like the cowl. I like how it doesn't have like the angry eyebrows on it. It's just a straight helmet. You can see like the stitching and everything. Cape looks really good. He does come with the McFarlane side-eye, but honestly for this Batman, I don't mind. I don't mind the side-eye. I don't know if that's a hot take for the Batman, but there's so many scenes where like a cop will say something and he'll just give him one of these, like, are you serious? We'll just do one of those. So it's like, it's in line for this version of Batman specifically. I don't mind the side-eye on this McFarlane figure. I can't emphasize enough how it's just this one. I'm really glad he moved away from the side-eye. Yeah, not a bad batch of figures from the Batman movie. The Batman movie, not bad at all. It's a really great interpretation of the character. You've definitely seen it, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Alright, so moving back on to the comic books, let's take a look at Greg Capullo's Last Night on Earth comic run. This was an Elseworld story where Omega takes over the Earth and Batman wakes up in an asylum not knowing where he is or anything. It's a really crazy storyline. I've only read it once, so I'm not like, I don't remember entirely what happens in it. I do remember bits and pieces. Like, I know, spoiler alert, this is a clone figure of, or a clone of Bruce Wayne. Or not a clone. This is Bruce Wayne from an alternate universe who's like betrayed by the public. So he turns evil and forms a dictatorship. Really basic Elseworld story stuff. But I like this Omega figure. I like the design of it. It's very sleek. I don't like this little cape though. I think the little cape is really weird. He's got the nice lines here. They came out with a separate version. I think it comes with Darkseid's head on a stick. He does that in the comic. Yeah, Omega's pretty cool. My whole complaint with a lot of the figures in this wave is the ankles. ankles on this guy are extremely loose, just like how they are loose on this Batman figure as well. Really difficult to get him to stand, but I like this Batman. I think it's different. I like the sort of straitjacket look and how this forms. This forms the cape. He came with a billy club, and then, of course, the Joker and a lantern head, which the head itself isn't accurate, but it's still a cool accessory. Then I like how the straps on the mask kind of form all of this, and McFarlane sculpted this so it's more of like a canvasy type texture. I think this is a decent Elseworld story. I don't like it as much as Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder's like main line Batman run, obviously, but it does have some value to it. Moving on to Wonder Woman, very different design here with the mohawk and everything, but it's apocalyptic, so I guess it works. You can see the fade and everything in the hair. Really striking design, and honestly, as far as female McFarlane figures go, this is a really good one. The articulation's pretty nice. Like, you can get her in fairly dynamic poses and everything. I just wish the sword wasn't so flimsy and thin. But yeah, nice Wonder Woman figure. Now, taking a look at this Scarecrow figure, this is McFarlane's like bread and butter right here. Designs like this really reminds me of the Walking Dead action figures he used to make. I have so many of those. I'd love to make a video talking about all of those Walking Dead figures, but he's got the fear toxin hands and everything. You can take off this red part and it reveals this really gruesome Scarecrow head. Then you can see like his intestines and some bones hanging down there. And he is meant to ride the Build-A-Figure Bane, like he does in the comic. These two really aren't in the comic that much, but it's a cool moment. I remember this Bane figure also caused some controversy when he first came out because he's not the most articulated. You had to heat him up because the joints wouldn't click into place the right way. But it is just such a big, striking piece on the shelf. Like, it really is just cool having him because he's so huge. Like, if you compare him to, let's have fun here. Let's compare him to a 6-inch scale Batman figure. You see, he just towers over him. Then you throw the Scarecrow on him too. Like, that's a serious threat for Batman. So I get why people wouldn't like this Build-A-Figure, but I really enjoy this Bane. Alright, so finishing up my live action Batman figures that I do have, we can start off with the Heath Ledger Joker figure from The Dark Knight. This is from that same Batman Legacy line that a lot of those Mattel Arkham City figures were from. So this is the police officer version of the Joker. I do have like a Dark Knight Rises Bane and a Commissioner Gordon and a Bruce Wayne, but I decided to bring this guy out just to have a Heath Ledger on the shelf, and this is an iconic look from a really iconic scene. I think the likeness still holds up really decently. I mean, the articulation's not great or anything. The deco's definitely faded. This figure shows his age a lot, but Heath Ledger is one of the greatest Jokers of all time. For better or for worse, everyone who's been the Joker since has tried to copy some aspect of it. I don't think they've ever been able to recapture what they got with Heath, but great movie. Like The Dark Knight for Batman films, I don't know if I like The Dark Knight as my absolute number one. I really did like the Batman, but I will say at the very least, The Dark Knight's a movie where every single little aspect of it makes sense. And it's just like such a coherent and concise film. Yeah, it's so great. I feel like it's more of a Joker movie than a Batman movie though, but Yeah, Heath Ledger was onto something with this movie. Really great stuff there. I wanted to throw this guy in here just to talk about him because he is on my shelf. I think he fits with the vibe of everybody else. But this is Peacemaker. This is the unmasked version. Doesn't really look like John Cena. The WWE figures I do have are way, way better, but still. Love the Peacemaker show. Love the Suicide Squad movie. Would have loved to see this guy interact with more people in the DC extended universe, but then it got rebooted. At least they're not canceling Peacemaker. They're keeping him in the loop with everything. I guess if I really wanted to, I could throw this guy on my Mortal Kombat shelf now too. But yeah, this is the variant Peacemaker figure. Really great stuff. Outfit looks great and everything. The worst part about him is the head sculpt, but I got him on sale at Target, so it's like, I know who it is. I can tell. Only one guy would wear something as stupid as this. Speaking of stupid, we do have Ezra Miller as the Flash. It's a cool looking figure at least. That's all we're gonna talk about here. This is the Batman suit version of the Flash costume, so you can see where the ears got cut off and see where the logo got spray painted over. This is very much like a Batman Returns bat suit, just colored red. And that's as much as we're gonna go into this figure. Moving on to the final movie figure, probably the best one, we do have the McFarlane Toys Michael Keaton Batman figure from The Flash. I got really lucky. When this guy first dropped, he was really hard to come by. I found him on Amazon for $18. And I love this figure. The cloth cape is honestly excellent. Like it has a nice span to it and everything. The likeness, I'd say that's Michael Keaton. And I do like this suit a lot. Really great bat suit. I'm a big fan of just the all black with the yellow symbol. Whenever I play Arkham Knight, a lot of the time I am wearing the Batman 89 costume. Yeah, Michael Keaton. I wish they didn't do him so dirty in the Flash movie. I wish they gave him a better send-off, but you know, hopefully James Gunn does something right with the Batman character. I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do here. Maybe they'll make him a little goofier. Maybe they'll keep him dark and gritty. I'm not sure, but I enjoy James Gunn. His stuff with Peacemaker, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's all really good, so I'm at least very hopeful. Alright, and now let's wrap it up with just some classic Batman comic book stuff here. This is the DC Collectibles New 52 Batman action figure. This guy came in the box set with the rest of the Justice League, so I do have those figures as well. I just wanted to show off the Batman today. Let's move these guys out of the way a little bit so that we can focus. Oh, there goes Red Hood. Okay, we'll pick him up in a second, but I really like this design. I think it's very streamlined. It's still very Batman. I like how the the cape drapes over the shoulder. Even the cape on the bottom is sculpted to lay sort of flat on the ground here, which I think is really cool for a Batman figure. Head sculpt portrait's really great. This is more of like how he appears in the Justice League comics, so it doesn't have that more stylized Greg Capullo art style. That Court of Owls storyline, really great stuff. I mean, Court of Owls, I would say, as far as new villains go, they have really stuck around. I mean, they were in Gotham Knights. They're kind of alluded to in the Batman. Fantastic design for Batman. Doesn't try too hard, but it's still different enough that it's unique. Really like this one. Moving on to one of Batman's sometimes ally, sometimes foe. We do have the Red Hood here. This is from McFarlane Toys' Three Jokers line. I gave him a few Marvel Legends guns. It's another figure I got in New York. Really fun trip. So I really like the helmet here. The hood itself is very like cherry glossy red. It's just a nice outfit for Jason Todd here. Jason Todd's one of my favorite Batman kind of characters, mostly because of the Under the Red Hood comic, or Under the Red Hood movie, the animated one. I think the comic added it was a little too convoluted for me, like with adding Chemo destroying Bloodhaven and everything. I like the Red Hood being more of a personal story. You know, it doesn't need to be like this earth-shattering event. It's just kind of its own thing. But yeah, and then 3 Jokers for Jason Todd. I thought it was a decent storyline. I like how it explores the trauma that Jason has a little bit more. At least they're doing something with him. Like, I feel like once he has like the Red Hood arc, it's kind of difficult to write for him, just because Jason gets stuck in a circle with, you know, trying to be good, going back to being bad, this and that. I do like what Grant Morrison tried to do with Dick Grayson as Batman, where they had Jason Todd like have the big dome hood and everything. He had his own sort of version of Robin. That was some cool stuff. But yeah, I like Jason Todd as a character, but I will admit that his stuff is a little all over the place. But overall, this, just as an action figure, really good action figure. I know I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I do really like Red Hood as a character, so I would like to see him treated a little bit better. Now moving on, let's save that one for last. I think a lot of people are gonna like that one. But this is the McFarlane Toys Mr. Freeze, iconic villain. One of the best parts of Arkham City, one of the best parts of Batman the Animated Series with Cold Cold Heart. One of the best parts of Batman and Robin the movie with all of his ice puns. This figure is nice because you can take off the dome and kind of position the head however you want. Not a fan of the freeze gun having the ice shooting out permanently. I don't know if they had to do that because of DC's restrictions with firearms. I mean, it is a freeze gun. Yeah, this is just a really nice, basic-looking Mr. Freeze. I don't know if he's based on anything in particular, but it looks super cool. Like, the red's really striking, and then I like the white and baby blue. It kind of looks like an astronaut suit, honestly. Yeah, I really like this version of Mr. Freeze. He was kind of hard to find too when he first came out because so many people wanted him. But I'm pretty sure since then he's become more widely available. And then finally, this is the DC Universe Classics Wave 16. Hold on, let me adjust this tripod here. Wave 16 Bane figure. This guy was the Build-A-Figure of the wave, and it was like an all-star wave. But yeah, absolute all-star wave. I think it had like Robin, Riddler, Creeper, Azrael, Batman, Jonah Hex. I mean, if you look at this Bane, he's still... Oop, I'm gonna stand here. He is a little bit old, but I mean... Let's put him next to the DC Direct Batman. This McFarlane Batman. He still has some really decent size to him, I think. I mean, yeah, it's a cool older piece to have on the shelf. Like, I think he's still aged really good. The articulation is old DC, but it's not horrible. I think as far as Mattel's go, this is definitely one of their better figures that they've ever made. Head sculpt looks great. Like, this is straight out of Nightfall. Yeah, really love this Bane figure. So yeah, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up this retrospective review at the rest of my Batman collection. As you guys can see here, this is kind of what it's all about here. One more time, with feeling, we did bring out the Arkham City Batman to join the rest of these Batman figures, and it's so cool having all of these different versions of the same character from, you know, different eras. It's really cool to trace back the history like this. Collecting Batman for me is a lot like collecting Spider-Man, where it's just really cool to have all of these different versions, just seeing the evolution. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look at this collection with me. It was so fun to kind of look back and see what's similar, what changed, what's different. And I mean, look, if you look at this, we got so many different toy companies and they all look so great together. Like, we have McFarlane, we have DC Direct, and then we have all of the Mattel figures. I think that one's Kenner. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, a lot of different stuff here all looks so great together. Like, this is just this is just some really cool stuff. If you guys enjoyed and thought it was really cool, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.